Hello and welcome to episode 724 of the Our Lady of Fatima podcast. It is my pleasure to be with you this morning. My name is Terrence M. Stanton. We are recording on Saturday, November 25th, 2023, in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ. Let us begin with The Glories of Mary. This is a book featuring the Saturday prayer to the Most Blessed Virgin Mary to obtain her patronage by the great saint and doctor of the Church, Alphonsus Liguori. O my most holy Mother, I see the graces which thou hast obtained for me, and I see the ingratitude of which I have been guilty towards thee. An ungrateful soul is no longer worthy of favors, but I will not on this account distrust thy mercy, which is greater than my ingratitude. O my great advocate, pity me. Thou dispensest all the graces which God grants to us miserable creatures, and for this purpose he has made thee so powerful, so rich, and so benign. He has done so that thou mightest succor us in our miseries. Ah, Mother of mercy, leave me not in my poverty. Thou art the advocate of the most miserable and guilty criminals who have recourse to thee. Defend me also, who recommend myself to thee. Say not that my cause is too difficult to be gained, for all causes, however desperate, when defended by thee, are gained. In thy hands then do I place my eternal salvation. To thee do I entrust my soul. It was lost. Thou then, by thy intercession, hast to save it. I wish to be inscribed amongst thy most devoted servants. Reject me not. Thou seekest the miserable to relieve them. Abandon me not, who am a wretched sinner, and who have recourse to thee. Speak for me. Thy Son does all that thou askest him. Take me under thy protection. That is all that I ask. Yes, for if thou protectest me, I fear nothing. I do not fear my sins, for thou wilt obtain me a remedy for the evil they have done me. I do not fear the devils, for thou art more powerful than all hell. I do not even fear Jesus, my judge himself, for by a single prayer of thine he is appeased. I only fear that by my negligence I may cease to recommend myself to thee, and thus be lost. It is true that these graces are too great for me, who have not deserved them. But they are not too great for thee, who art so much loved by God. Hence he grants thee all that thou askest. Thou hast only to speak, and he denies thee nothing. Pray then to Jesus for me. Tell him that thou protectest me, and then he is sure to pity me. My mother, in thee do I trust. In this hope I shall live in peace, and in it I wish to die. Live, Jesus our love, and Mary our hope. Today, friends, we are going back to the excellent traditional Catholic website, fisheaters.com, for some information about St. Catherine of Alexandria. Today is her feast day. St. Catherine, one of the 14 holy helpers, was a brilliant young woman of noble birth who, according to myth, had a mystical marriage to Christ. According to the golden legend compiled by Jacobus de Varenne, Archbishop of Genoa, in 1275, Jesus said to Catherine, Catherine, come hither to me. And as soon as she heard him name her name, so great a sweetness entered into her soul that she was all ravished, and therewith our Lord gave to her a new strength which passed nature, and said to her, Come, my spouse, and give to me your hand. And there our Lord espoused her, enjoining himself to her by spiritual marriage, promising ever to keep her in all her life in this world, and after this life to reign perpetually in his bliss. And in token of this set a ring on her finger, which he commanded her to keep in remembrance of this, and said, Dread ye not, my dear spouse, I shall not depart from you, but always comfort and strengthen you. Then said this new spouse, O blessed Lord, I thank you with all mine heart of all your great mercies, beseeching you to make me thine and worthy to be thy servant and handmaid, and to please you, whom my heart loveth and desireth above all things. And thus this glorious marriage was made, whereof all the celestial court joyed and sang this verse in heaven, Sponsus amat sponsum, salvator visitat illam, and with so great melody that no heart may express, think it. This was a glorious and singular marriage, to which was never none like before on earth, wherefore this glorious Virgin Catherine ought to be honored, lauded, and praised among all the virgins that ever were in earth. Whatever fantastical stories may have been assigned to her life, there is no doubt that she was a genius, a true intellectual. When she was just 18 years old, went before the Emperor Maximinus to correct him for worshiping false gods and to upbraid him for his persecution of Christians. He sent some of his greatest scholars and philosophers to debate her, but she ended up converting many of them, and they were put to death, and Catherine was beaten and jailed. The emperor's wife, intrigued by Catherine, went to visit her with the head of the emperor's troops. They too were converted and put to death. So the king decided to put Catherine on a breaking wheel to end her. The Golden Legend gives the account of what happened next. And then a master warned and advised the king, being wood for anger, that he would make 4 wheels of iron, and iron with sharp razors, cutting so that she might be horribly all detrenched and cut in that torment, so that he might fear the other Christian people by example of that cruel torment. And then was ordained that 2 wheels should turn against the other 2 by great force, so that they should break all that should be between the wheels. And then the Blessed Virgin prayed our Lord that he would break these engines to the praising of his name, and for to convert the people that were there. And anon, as this Blessed Virgin was set in this torment, the angel of our Lord brake the wheels by so great force that it slew 4,000 pagans. After escaping the wheel, she was then beheaded. Legend says that the angels carried her body to Mount Sinai. She is the patron of unmarried women, students, philosophers, craftsmen who use wheels, for example, potters, lace makers, and milliners. She's usually depicted in art with a wheel, sword, and or palm of martyrdom. Note that it was she, along with St. Margaret of Antioch and St. Michael the Archangel, who visited St. Joan of Arc. Customs. The novena to St. Catherine can be prayed anytime, but it's customary to especially pray it between November 16th and November 24th, the eve of St. Catherine's feast. On St. Catherine's Day, it is also customary for unmarried women to pray for husbands and to honor women who've reached 25 years of age but haven't married, called Catherinettes in France. Catherinettes send postcards to each other, and friends of the Catherinettes make hats for them, traditionally using the colors yellow for faith and green, wisdom, often outrageous, and crown them for the day. Pilgrimage is made to St. Catherine's statue, which is also crowned by a fantastical hat. And the saint is asked to intercede in finding husbands for the unmarried, lest they don St. Catherine's bonnet and become spinsters. The Catherinettes are supposed to wear the hat all day long, and they are usually fated with a meal among friends. Because of this hat-wearing custom, French milliners have big parties to show off their wares on this day. The French say that before a girl reaches 25, she prays, "Lord, give me a well-situated husband. Let him be gentle, rich, generous, and pleasant." After 25, she prays, "Lord, one who's bearable, or who can at least pass as bearable in the world." And when she's pushing 30, "Send whatever you want, Lord, I'll take it." An English version goes, Saint Catherine, O lend me thine aid, and grant that I never may die an old maid." And there is this, a fervent French prayer, which translated comes out as, "Saint Catherine, be good, we have no hope but you. You are our protector, have pity on us. We implore you on our knees, help us to get married. For pity's sake, give us a husband, for we're burning with love. Deign to hear the prayer, which comes from our overburdened hearts. O you who are our mother, give us a husband," which is summed up more quickly in this, in English prayer. A husband, St. Catherine, a handsome one, St. Catherine, a rich one, St. Catherine, a nice one, St. Catherine, and soon, St. Catherine. Another French saying is, "On St. Catherine's Day, the trees take root." Gardeners know that today is a good day for planting trees. Now, because St. Catherine is the patron saint of lace makers, and because Queen Catherine of Aragon, the first of Henry VIII's 6 unfortunate wives, was also associated with lace making, it is a good day to think of the latter woman too. The pious Catholic Queen Catherine is said to have taught lace making to the poor of Ampthill, while the divorce she fought all the way to Rome was pending, and she is also said to have burned all her lace, only so she would have to order more, thereby keeping the poor lace makers employed. In honor of the saint and of the good Catholic queen, Cattern cakes, Cattern, are eaten today. And here's the recipe for Cattern cakes: 9 ounces self-rising flour, 1/4 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 2 ounces currants, 2 ounces ground almonds, 2 teaspoons caraway seeds, 4 ounces castor sugar, 4 ounces melted butter, 1 medium egg beaten, extra sugar for sprinkling, extra cinnamon for sprinkling. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Mix all the dry ingredients together in a mixing bowl. Flour, cinnamon, currants, ground almonds, caraway seeds, and sugar. Add the melted butter and the beaten egg and mix well to give a soft dough. Roll the dough out on a floured board into a rectangle about 12 by 10. Brush the dough with water and sprinkle with the extra sugar and cinnamon to taste. Gently roll the dough up like you're making cinnamon rolls, not too tightly, and then cut the rolled up dough into 3/4 inch slices. Place these slices onto a well-greased and lined baking tray, making sure that they are spaced well apart. Bake for about 10 minutes or until golden and crispy on top. Allow to cool on a wire rack. Sprinkle with extra caraway seeds, sugar, and cinnamon if desired. Store in an airtight tin for up to 7 days. If you have a trained pyrotechnician in the house, the lighting of the firework known as a St. Catherine's wheel would be a very showy thing to do. A Catherine's wheel is a long tube filled with powder and coiled around a wooden center, which is attached to a stationary pole of some sort. When lit, centrifugal force rotates the coil very quickly, and as it burns, a wheel of colored flames, sparks, and smoke is produced. Other pinwheel-shaped objects are described as Catherine wheels, e.g. rose windows are called such. Note that November 25 is day one of the Novena to St. Barbara in anticipation of her feast on December 4th. So a happy St. Catherine's Day to all of you. St. Catherine of Alexandria, ora pro nobis. And we will conclude, friends, by once again mentioning helping autism through learning and outreach available on the web at halo-soma.org. That's halo-soma.org. Additionally, please tune into episodes 277 and 548 of the Our Lady of Fatima podcast for more information about RPM. RPM is an acronym for Rapid Prompting Method, a system of communication for non-speakers. Before my niece was 8 years old, we didn't even know her favorite color. Now we know that she's a comprehensive genius who composes music. She's a wonderful poet, very skilled in regards to mathematics. She even knows foreign languages. This is all thanks to her hard work and her family's cooperating with God's grace, working through RPM. This has been as big of a breakthrough for non-speakers as Braille was for the blind to be able to read, or as sign language was for the deaf in terms of their being able to communicate. And we know that communication is a human right. Just because someone can't speak or has difficulty in speaking, it doesn't mean that they don't have the right to communicate. So please spread that website, spread those episodes of Our Lady's podcast far and wide. And if you don't know a non-speaker, you probably will at some point in the future. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Our Lady of Fatima podcast. Please tune in again next time. Goodbye, and God love you.